Hi guys, welcome back to WM97. It's
Hi.
been a while.
Yeah,
Been
it
doing a
has.
lot of research, but today we thought we'd do a video about the seven seals in the Book of Revelation, the seven seal judgments. I know that there's information already on the net about this, but you know, there's no harm in putting it out there anyway, just to get the message across. And a lot of people are interested in this, as we are in the end times of the birth pain. So
It's a difficult book, but we should be able to get some information out of it.
yeah. So obviously there's Matthew 24 that you'll read shortly before you come to this in the Book of Revelation, and you know about all of those. We spoke about those in other videos. But we'll get to the first seal then, and it's the white horse. So I'll start Revelation 6 verse 1. Now I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard one of the four living creatures saying with a voice like thunder, "Come and see." And I looked, and behold, a white horse. He who sat on it had a bow, and a crown was given to him, and he went out conquering and to conquer. That's the Antichrist. It isn't Jesus Christ, which you might get confused with. Some people do think it's Jesus Christ, but it's the Antichrist. Still come, and because the white horse means peace, doesn't it? But remember, that's the first thing that the Antichrist is going to do. He's going to come in to deceive and think that he's the good guy.
Come in the name of peace.
He's going to come in seeming to solve all the world's problems and have all the answers. That's why a lot of people think, amongst many reasons, fig tree generation, that this is the end times because of the coronavirus pandemic. It's a perfect scenario for the Antichrist to rise to power and say, "I've got all the answers for you."
As well as that's the first seal, guys. So you know,
That's what to look out for, isn't it? Next, pretty much.
well, the major flag, yeah, is this person revealing himself to be the peacemaker. You know, everyone's gonna put him in power, etc. But that's the beginning of the 7-year tribulation, I would assume, isn't it? That's the kickoff spot.
I do think these seals aren't they're not that bad at judgments. I mean, some of them are bad, some of them are, but compared to the trumpets and the seven golden bowl judgments, it's a picnic in my opinion. And you can make up. We're going to do a video probably next on the seven trumpet judgments, and you'll get what I mean. You'll get a real idea of what I mean, and then we'll do the seven golden bowl judgments and complete the trilogy of all three. And yeah, the seals by far are not that it's light work compared to the trumpets and the bowl judgments, I tell you.
But as soon as we see that guy, then obviously pre-trib rapture is off table.
Yeah, you got to come to this reality that if the tribulation starts, you can't be a rapture guy or girl. Rapture. We've told you
anyway.
Time and time again. Me and Joe are open to the idea that we believe the rapture will happen. That's what we ultimately believe. But we're also prepared if it doesn't happen, and you have to prepare that it might not happen, because there's so many verses in the Bible about. And I'm not just talking about come to you like a thief in the night if you're caught unaware, but it's these unaware verses in scripture. There's so many of it, and especially in the end times passages, and it's sort of talking subconsciously about that I think that people were putting so many eggs into a basket of a rapture that they're going to be mind blown when it doesn't happen, and they're going to be ultimately like a knife in the heart, you know, like disappointed. And you've got to wake up to reality and come to the acceptance that it might not be a rapture until the midpoint. Or there might not be one at all. There's three outcomes. There's a rapture, it's in the middle, or there's not one at all.
Yeah.
You have to be like that.
Yeah, you have to be prepared for all the options at the end of the day. Yeah.
So, on to the second seal.
Second seal. When he opened the second seal, I heard the second living creature saying, "Come and see." And another horse, fiery red, went out. It's a red horse. And he was granted to the one who sat on it to take peace from the earth, and that the people should kill one another. And there was given to him a great sword. All right. So seal 2 is war. Yeah. So the next war is going to be quite, well, you know what I mean.
Significant.
It will be. Yeah. Especially because this war is going to be, obviously seal 1's already gone. So we know who is in play. So any war that follows after Seal 1 is not going to be a, you know...
It could be World War III, to be honest with you. It says
it could
war.
be World War
is...
Three. Or it could be after World War Three.
Mm.
In the sense that this might be localized to Israel, as in it might be an Israel war, or it might be a world war. So it doesn't really make that fully clear. Either way, it's not going to be good. I
don't know if anybody's put the sort of two and two together. There might be a reason why nobody has ever done this, but it could be the Gog and Magog war. But I do know that at that, you know, apparently I hear a lot that will be raptured before that happens. Because that has to happen when...
well, there's the idea of that happening, yeah, of the rapture before that, yeah.
Yeah.
But, so are we on Seal 3?
Yeah, Seal 3. So this is the Black Horse. When he opened the third seal, I heard the third living creature say, "Come and see." So I looked, and behold, a black horse, and he who sat on it had a pair of scales in his hand. And I heard in the midst of the four living creatures saying, "A quart of wheat for a denarius, and 3 quarts of barley for a denarius, and do not harm the oil and the wine." So this is basically saying, you know, famine, basically, guys, that it's going to be mass famine. It's a judgment from God that there's going to be loads of famine, and people are going to be starving, and it's going to cost like a whole day's wages to get a loaf of bread. You know, it's going to be absolutely barbaric. It's not going to be good.
But the rich will still have the finer things, obviously. You know, the wine, don't hurt the oil and the wine. You know, that's going to be the ones that are in the top tier, isn't it, at the end of the day, in the sense of running stuff. So they will have their luxuries, and so that was Seal 3. That was Seal 4. So this is Revelation 6 verse 7. When he opened the fourth seal, I heard the voice of the fourth living creature saying, "Come and see." So I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and the name of him who sat on it was Death, and Hades followed him, and power was given to him, a fourth of the earth to kill with the sword, hunger with death, and by the beasts of the earth. Yeah, so that's Seal 4 and Death. That's the Death pale horse.
Pretty straightforward, that one. Death. You know, there's just going to be a lot of death at that point. And, you know, you think that a war's happened, famine's happened by now, and then death. It's going to be a lot of death from the famine, you know, and the war, and just loads of death, I think, is going to happen at that point, to be honest.
And that's saying like 25% of over a fourth of the earth, that says, to kill with sword, hunger, death. So now after it said...
Oh yeah, that's the part where 2 billion are going to die, isn't it? Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
It depends here how many people are alive at this point.
There's 8 billion, yeah, it'd be 2
Yeah,
billion.
I mean, by Seal 4, you know, we've had that Great War.
Yeah, that's true.
We've had the
famine,
you know.
yeah.
So how many people are going to be still about by then, and then...
Yeah.
But as well, it says, I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and the name of him who sat on the horse was Death, Hades, so Death and Hades, and it followed with him. Power was given to them, so what, Death and Hades?
Yeah.
To them, over a fourth of the earth, yeah, 25%.
So we're on Seal 5 now, guys. When he opened the 5th seal, I saw under the altar the souls of those who had been slain for the word of God and for the testimony which they held. And they cried with a loud voice, saying, "How long, O Lord, holy and true, until you judge and avenge our blood on those who dwell on the earth?" And a white robe was given to each of them, and it was said to them that they should rest a little longer until both the number of their fellow servants and their fellow brethren who would be killed as they were was completed. So it's the martyr's cry, this is, and this isn't a judgment. You know, if you read it, it's not a judgment on the earth. This is why the seals aren't that OP, if you want to call it. It's why the trumpets. You wait until we get to the trumpet judgments and the golden bowl ones. Every single one of them will affect us. It does say that you know, they get the revenge. It just doesn't say how. So something's going to happen, and it's not going to be good. Let's be honest, because God is judging the whole earth. But you know, compared to some of the other later judgments, I do think that some of these aren't as bad. Obviously, famine and the war and the death are, And the Antichrist coming on the scene's not exactly good, is it? But
That's it.
you know, you'll see what I mean when we
Yeah,
get
it
to
gets
the Trump
worse.
side, you know,
Yeah.
Wormwood and all that.
You'd be hoping for seal 2 and 3.
Yeah, you really will.
Yeah, anyway, so Revelation 6:12. This is seal 6. I looked when he opened the 6th seal, and behold, there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became like blood, and the stars of heaven fell to the earth, as a fig tree drops its late figs when it's shaken by a mighty wind. Then the sky receded as a scroll when it's rolled up, and every mountain and island was moved out of its place, and the kings of the earth, the great men, the rich men, the commanders, the mighty men, every slave and free man, hid themselves in caves and in the rocks of the mountains. And they said to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb. For the great day of his wrath has come, and who is able to stand? Yeah. So that was seal 6, natural disasters.
It's not too bad again, that one. There's a mighty earthquake. There's a couple more earthquakes in the trumpets and seals, bowls. And also to do with the sun, it gets a lot worse than that. There's one where it takes a third of the sun out. So there's only 2/3 of the sun left. And if you can work that out, that makes us go back to the Ice Age. It'll be freezing. I'm not sure if that's a trumpet judgment or a bowl judgment, but when that's one of the worst ones I would look forward to if we're going into the tribulation. Call me crazy because there's loads of other really bad ones, but a third of the sun being just like taken away by God, it will be freezing. It will be freezing. I'm not looking forward to that one at all. Seal 7 is just a transition into the trumpets. There isn't a judgment with that. So it's really 6 seal judgments, because the 7th, as I say, it's just a transition. I don't know if you want to get up. It'll probably be in Revelation 7.
The 7th is the transition's bad enough, and just transitioning into the trumpets is a bad time.
Yeah, well, yeah, because the trumpets, we're getting into the meaty stuff now, you know. So got here, guys. It's in Revelation 8:1. When he opened the 7th seal, there was silence in heaven for about half an hour, and I saw the 7 angels who stand before God. And to them were given 7 trumpets. So that's what I mean. It just transitions into the trumpets. And that's the 7 seal judgments, guys. Yeah, it starts at Revelation 6:1. And then it transitions into Revelation 8:1 when we get onto the trumpet judgments.
Trumpets. Yeah. Well, apologies. It's been a while since we uploaded last. You see our pretty mugs anyway. We've had a couple of videos on there. But we still have the blessed hope, and we have things planned for the future, and looking forward to it, you know. So God bless, guys.
Yeah, and I just want to say, make sure to go and watch our end times prophecies that have come true, all 30 plus of them. Because a lot of people haven't seen that, and it was a video that took us combined 10 hours to put together. There's a lot of effort into that, guys, so go and watch that if you haven't seen it already. We're going to have the 7 trumpet judgments up next. Subscribe to the channel to stay up to date, so you keep notified of all of our uploads. And yeah, God bless, guys. We'll see you on the next one.
God bless, guys.